La route ne tue pas, mais c'est nous qui tuons à cause de nombreuses maladresses. Road not the kill, now we the kill. So today we dey for talk again. Randy Cool from Zion Digital Driving School. We dey here today. We go talk about gear shift, how to correctly shift your gears, how to correctly shift gears. So that's our topic for today. So many people just take the gear shifting issue as if it's nothing, but my brother, I'm telling you, when you do it wrongly, that's a very hefty bill you are going to pay very soon. Not very fast, but very soon. For that, I can assure you. So today, I want to talk about gear shifting. Know that when we talk about gear shifting, we are talking, and there are so many different types of gear setups or gearbox. You have the regular 5, from 1 to 5, and our reverse. And if you look on this demonstration here, you see some aspects do change depending on the car make and model. But today we are going to talk singularly on our regular manual gear from gear 1 to 5 and the reverse, the one we all know. Gear shifting, it's part of a driver's day-to-day life, or it's the car's own way of changing its speed. So knowing how to change it is very, very important, because the gearbox is made up of so many components, and there are metallic components that are all inside the gearbox. So shifting this gear lever moves a lot of metallic objects around. If you have never seen the inside of a gearbox, a manual gearbox, this is what it looks like. Just from a peak, you can see too many components, metallic components, and when you are shifting the gear, they keep moving from one place to another, and that ensuring you now that your car goes in speed. So if you can't handle that shift properly, as I said, expensive bill coming your way. So today, we are going to talk mainly about the manual gearbox, but if you look here, you see, say, automatic gearbox still get the same, no matter the fact say get lever where you go now, just up front and back, from and back, depending on the model. The thing when it is still shift, so it still causes the same thing. So also knowing an automatic gearbox is very, very important. But we will be talking about our regular manual transmission. That's from gear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and reverse. That is what we are handling today. So we'll go to the first task. How to properly engage your gear from neutral, because the neutral gear is always present in all cars, made and models. And we are going to talk about your palming method as well, because the way you put your hand, it also matters and helps to facilitate the gear. So the movement from neutral to 1, this is it, as simple as you see in the schematic. Very simple. Let me go to my... we'll use this for demonstration. So, as you saw on the schematic, your gear 1, now I'm in the neutral position. How do you know the car is in the neutral position? When your gear lever can move from side to side, as you can see here, without any obstruction, that is the neutral position. So, from that position to gear 1, your hand is like this. Gear 1, you move straight and forward. As you see on our diagram here, it is simple, very simple. You can see. From neutral, you move and you push forward. And if you need to go to gear 2, if you see on the diagram, gear 1 is directly, gear 2 is directly under 1. They are on the same rail. So look very well, carefully on, let's go. You can see some arrows here. This is now the force of that hand. So I'll show here, we are already in the first gear position. Now, to go to gear 2 from this position, you don't just do this. I assure you, this is not more gear 2, this is gear 3. From gear 1, you have to maintain, remember the red arrows I told you, you maintain on your body, then you bring it back straight. To go back, you maintain and move forward. If you don't maintain, that is where you start losing track from The 1 to the 2 is in the straight line. A gear lever is spring loaded. It always tries to come back to neutral. So if you're bringing it from 1 to 2 without giving it the necessary pull towards yourself in the car, you skip to neutral and find yourself around gear 4. Now we are moving from 2 to 3. If you can see there, the hand position is changing. It's no more this way, it's this way. Since the gear lever needs to come back in this direction. Remember, you're 1, you're 2, and from now, your hand was like this. For you to go to 3, I always advise all my students to look for what? Neutral. Why? Because 3 is above neutral. How do you look for neutral? Just push the gear lever without controlling it. It always falls to neutral. This is my neutral. You see? It's back to the neutral position. Once you move from any gear without controlling the gear lever, it always keeps back to neutral. That is in almost all cars. That is the way it functions. So for gear 3, just push forward, it falls to neutral, and you know 3 is in front of neutral. You just move forward. You are in gear 3 and you move back to 4, straight behind. On our screen here, it shows from here now you need to go to neutral. Just pushing it forward pushes the gear to fall back to neutral position, and 3 is directly above neutral. You just push to 3 and you are fine. Now 3 back to 2, remember your direction. From the 3 you fall back to neutral, straight back this way, and you fall back to gear 2. Same thing, push to neutral and push forward to 3. To go back to 2 is neutral. You give it the necessary force it requires. Then you go back to 2. Now 3 and 4, they are located just one above the other. One above the other. So it becomes very easy for you to do that, because as you are in gear 3, neutral 4 is straight under. From 4 to 3 is just a push. That's 4, 3, 4, 3, 4 without controlling, because if you move that lever in either direction, you're changing the gear or the intention. So it's 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. Don't change directions. From now, from gear 4 to 5, same thing I explained about getting from gear 1 to 3. You play with what? With the directions. You keep, if you change away from this map, things you start getting the gear lever a little bit complicated. We are here in our 4th position. You look for your neutral silently, meaning that don't control, just push it forward, it moves to neutral. Then you have now this push. Remember, I do this or I do this. That palming technique facilitates the gear. So move and move forward. That is my 5th gear. If I step backward, it's back to neutral. 5th gear, that is it. Push it back, it's back to neutral. So remember, when you're changing your gear, the way your hand is placed is very vital for a proper gear shift. I'm very certain with this very simple and nice video, you guys will be able to shift your gears properly. See you on another one.